Hey guys, Team Specific here. This is Austin. I'm coming at you with the ban list for ARG. This is not the Konami ban list. The Konami ban list is coming soon. Don't worry about it. This isn't going to be relevant for Konami events. Not like there are any Konami events till the end of August anyway. Nothing till Worlds and after that. This will be the ARG ban list that they're going to use for the next 3 events, including Charlotte, Providence, and Philadelphia. Obviously, if you want more information on that, you can go check out ARG's site or their Facebook, something like that. But this is the list they're going to be using. After that, it's going to be something like a side event /1K /Metro Series kind of thing. Or something just, again, at the end of a format in which it's getting stale. Because this format we're currently in is insanely stale. There's nothing interesting about it anymore. A lot of players are getting bored with it, so we needed something. So let's go over the list, and then we'll go over some of the things that we like or dislike. So first off, Jin Releaser of Rituals, now banned. Royal Magical Library as well. Necros of Trishula, Laval Chain, Fusion Gate, and Vanity's Emptiness. To 1, you have Sir Melon Branch of the Burning Abyss, E-Hero Bubbleman, E-Hero Stratos, Necros of Unicorn, El Shadal Construct, Wind-Up Carrier Zen Mighty, El Shadal Fusion, Instant Fusion, and Mistake. For your restricted to 2 cards, you have Insector Hornet, Rescue Rabbit, Wind-Up Magician, Dante, Summoner's Art, and Torrential Tribute. And then for cards no longer restricted, you have Chaos Sorcerer, Dark Hole, Ravine, and Sacred Swords. Basically, the cards no longer restricted, none of them really matter that they're being unrestricted, except for maybe Dragon Ravine. The plus side to Dragon Ravine coming back to 3 is dragons are not a thing. It's just going to help Dragoonity a bit. I don't think it's going to push them over the edge, but it might make them semi-competitive again, which is something that we want to do here. Now for the restricted to 2 cards, you have Insector Hornet. It's going to make the deck a bit more consistent. Again, I don't think it's going to push the deck over the threshold. I think only Dragonfly can do that, but it is going to make them a bit more consistent, a bit more stronger. Rescue Rabbit. Sorry, it's unmarked actually, if you look at it. It's unmarked, but it is a new card, unrestricted to 2. It was restricted to 1. Rescue Rabbit is going to help the Dino Rabbit deck, and it might help Evil Swarms a tiny bit. Either way, it's not as strong anymore because Tour Guide's at 1, so you can't do the Leviair play. And it's just a card that you're not really seeing many decks that can utilize it in this current format. Wind-Up Magician is back. It's a card that everybody hated was at 1. It makes wind-ups a lot faster, a lot stronger, and it's definitely going to help the deck become a lot better. Dante going to 2 is going to hurt Burning Abyss a bit. The more Dantes you play, the better your chances of winning when it comes to Burning Abyss. 2 is really hard for them to win with because your opponent doesn't want to see Dante, and if you run out of Dantes, you might be in trouble. Summoner's Art, new, just to add a little bit less consistency to Cleese. It's going to make it so they can't get their Scout as easily, which obviously they don't get Scout. It's harder for them to win. Then Torrential Tribute. It's a board wipe. It's something that is seeing a little bit more play now, and it should be because it's a really good one. It's really good responsive trap, but it's still easy to get around. It's not a super powerful card to a point where it can't just go to 2, and I actually like the choice that Torrential is at 2. For your restricted to 1 list, you have Sir Melon to the Burning Abyss. It's going to be really hard to recycle Dantes now because we only have 1 Sir. So the deck is actually going to take a big step down, and it might not be top tier anymore with just that change. I think it's still going to be a good deck. I just don't think it could be the top deck anymore because it's been really pushing to be that top deck. And I've been saying that it's probably the most powerful deck, just that Necros is obviously a bit more consistent. E-Hero Bubbleman and E-Hero Stratos going to 1. Stratos is back, but because Stratos is back, you want to avoid any OTKs, such like that, so you have to put Bubbleman to 1. It's also the reason why Fusion Gate is banned. Necros of Unicorn, they said it was for its skill drain ability, something to stop stuff from the extra deck. But to be honest, Unicorn is actually a key component in their consistency. It allows them to recycle cards of their graveyard. Not to mention, when you have a lot more Unicorns, you can play a lot more Kaleidoscopes into Heralds, which Kaleidoscope into Herald is really good for consistency as well. El Shadal Construct and El Shadal Fusion. Obviously, you have to hit another top deck, and by doing this, you take away their best extra deck monster as well as the best spell card in their deck. El Shadal is actually super problematic, but obviously they can recycle it, so it's not huge to put it to 1. It's just enough to hit the deck to a point where it's no longer at that top status. Zen Mighty coming back. It's a lot harder to hand loop now. especially when you're going first. You only have 5 cards in hand. It's a bit harder to hand loop. So for now, they're going to keep Zen Mighty at 1 and Magician at 2. We'll see where that leads. Could be problematic. They could have to change it, but only time will tell. Instant Fusion, obviously, it's just preemptive for Nodin, because Nodin is huge. Mistake, they wanted to get rid of Floodgates. Mistake is a really good floodgate against anything that searches, so they put it to 1, making it hard to find for those decks that are trying to counteract it. Shadal's were capitalizing huge off that card, so it's something that they decided to put to 1. Now, for your newly banned cards, Djinn, I mean, it's a floodgate in itself. It's something that it created a gentleman's agreement ruling problem, and it's just a giant problematic card in general. Because of that gentleman's agreement kind of thing, you kind of figure, yeah, it deserves to be banned at that point, right? Royal Magical Library is preemptive for cards coming out, such as Chicken Race, such like that. Just stop OTKs/FTKs. Necroz Trishula, it is an amazing power card. I don't think it's the major problem with the deck, but it is the best power card in their deck. So getting rid of the thing that nobody else can use is probably a bit better. Obviously, the regular Trish is right here, banned a couple underneath it. So they just decided to ban Necroz Trishula as well. The Fall Chain is a big key to a lot of big combo plays, a lot of OTKs, a lot of FTKs. So banning it gets rid of all those FTKs like Blue-Blooded Oni and such like that. Fusion Gate, obviously a ring about Stratos, so you want to minimize OTKs, so you get rid of Fusion Gate. Simple as that. And Vanity's Emptiness, again, Floodgate, something that a lot of people are starting to Gentleman's Agreement out of the deck. And again, just like Djinn, if you're starting to Gentleman's Agreement out of the deck, it's probably not great for the format, so you should probably get rid of it. The ban list overall, I like it. I think a couple changes needed to be made. I think that Ritual Beast went untouched, which is problematic because now that deck is going to start to run wild. And I think it's probably going to be the best deck in the format, just because of the fact that it showed a lot of potential at Nats. And everything else got hit while it didn't get hit at all. So Tellers are going to be a bit better. To be honest, they were like the 6th or 7th best deck in the format before. But now they're going to be a lot better because they didn't get hit. They really needed to at least limit Alpha. Just get rid of something. Just give it a little bit less power. Just so that everything else can start to grow around it. I think that Yosenjus are going to be better. They still have Lose a Turn. That was a big problem I saw. Was they wanted to get rid of Floodgates, but they didn't get rid of Lose a Turn. Lose a Turn didn't go to 2, didn't go to 1. It's still at 3. So things like Clear are still going to capitalize off it. Things like Yosenju are still going to capitalize off it. I think Klee's going to still be a top deck. Yosenju can now jump in to possibly be a top deck, depending on how the format fully shapes up. And it's definitely going to be really interesting to watch over the next couple of months. Just to see what happens with this list, or if they have to change it or anything. Obviously, if they do, there will be a video on my channel for it. And I think that's it for me, guys. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and later.